Time. Is there any further business which should be presented to the chapter at this time?
Madam Chair.
Kayla.
I move that our chapter host a PALS program.
I call for the orders of the day.
The orders of the day are called for. Is there any business relating to the next agenda item?
Madam Chair.
Griffith.
I move that our chapter apply for a national FFA Food for All grant.
Second.
It is moved and seconded that our chapter apply for a national FFA Food for All grant. Griffith as maker, you have first rights to debate.
I object to the consideration of the question, Madam Chair.
The consideration of the question has been objected to. Shall the question be considered? Those in favor of considering the question will rise. Be seated. Those opposed rise. Be seated. With 4 in the affirmative and 1 in the negative, there are less than 2/3 opposed, and the objection is not sustained. Griffith, you have first rights to debate.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I made this motion because our chapter is really trying to do various different things that would require a lot of funding, such as the institution of our own PALS program with our local middle school. This would be a great way to fund this PALS program along with different kinds of activities, and the possibility of up to $2,500 is a great thing for our chapter. Therefore, I urge a yes vote.
Madam Chair.
Kayla.
I do not agree with this motion. Although I think it would be great in theory for us to apply for a Food for All grant, I don't really think that we have the time to fill out the lengthy application process. Nor do I think that we have enough time to really be able to look into this and see what we could use it for. Although we have a PALS program already up and running, I don't know what else we would use the grant money for. Therefore, I have to urge the Assembly a no vote.
Madam Chair.
Travis.
As been stated, our chapter has recently put in our PALS program. Not only do we have very little funding for that, we've also been bouncing around the ideas of instituting more community service projects. Applying for grants seems to be the best way to get the money to get those off their feet and to institute such great things for our chapter and our community. Please help me in passing this motion.
Madam Chair,
Garrett.
our community supports us greatly, and I think this would be kind of a backhanded thing to do to them. Why would we go for a grant when we can get some of the money from them and give them the support and have them support us? I think this is a very good motion. I urge a no vote.
Madam Chair,
Rachel.
I think this grant could really help our chapter expand into the community as we've been wanting to do. We're low on funds right now for our different activities that we're doing, and I think that this grant could really help us, so please vote yes.
Madam Chair.
Griffith.
I move to postpone this motion to our next regularly scheduled meeting.
Second. It is moved and seconded that the motion be postponed to our next regularly scheduled meeting. Griffith as maker, you have first rights to debate.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It seems our Assembly today is very divided on this issue, and at our next meeting is we're going to have the reports from members that went to State Conference, along with the election of our new officers. This is traditionally one of our highest member attending meetings and would be a great thing, seeing as this is a lengthy process, if our members would even be interested in this sort of a grant. Therefore, I urge a strong yes vote.
Madam Chair,
Garrett.
I cannot stand behind this motion. Our next meeting is one of the busiest meetings we have all year long. We're going to be nominating our new chapter officers. Now, this is going to take the entire meeting because we are going to be giving their officer speeches. I don't think this is a possible motion. I urge a no vote.
Madam Chair.
Travis.
As our previous speaker stated, we're going to have our officer meetings. But that doesn't mean we don't have enough time before all their speeches. A lot of times we find ourselves waiting for all of our members to get there, and there are a lot of postponements within the meeting itself, and this would be a great time to consider such a motion as this. It's a great idea, and I must urge a yes vote on the postponement.
Madam Chair.
Kayla.
I disagree with this motion. Not only are officer candidates coming up, yes, but we have a lot of fun games planned out, and a lot of our members are really interested to see how different teams did in state and individual speakers. We have a lot on the agenda, and I think that this motion would get rushed and not get the proper amount of time that it needs. So I have to urge the Assembly for a negative vote.
Question of privilege, Madam Chair.
State your question.
It's a bit dim in here. Could we turn up the lights?
The member's request is denied as it would interrupt our meeting.
I appeal for the decision of the chair.
Second.
It is moved and seconded to appeal from the decision of the chair. Shall the chair's decision be sustained? Those in favor of sustaining the chair's decision, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say no.
No.
The ayes have it. The chair's decision is sustained. The question is on the postponement.
Madam Chair,
Rachel.
look at the people that we have here today. They have great minds, and they really understand our chapter as a whole. We understand we need this money, so please do not postpone this. Vote no.
Madam Chair,
Garrett.
I move previous question.
Second.
It is moved and seconded to order previous question. Those in favor of ordering previous question will rise. Be seated. Those opposed rise. Be seated. With 4 in the affirmative and 1 in the negative, the previous question will be ordered. We will proceed to vote on the postponement. The question is, shall the main motion be postponed to our next regularly scheduled meeting? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no.
No.
The noes have it. The motion is lost. We will not postpone this motion. Debate is on the main motion.
Madam Chair,
Rachel.
I move to refer this motion to our chapter standing executive committee.
Second.
It is moved and seconded to refer the motion to our standing executive committee. Rachel as maker, you have first rights to debate.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think our executive committee could actually do a much better job at really discussing if we need this grant and if we actually have the ability to apply for it. So please vote yes.
Madam Chair.
Garrett.
I cannot stand behind this motion. Our executive committee is right now extremely focused on the end of the year banquet, getting the awards ready, our scripts written, and getting everyone's invitations out. I do not think this would be a good idea to put too much on their plate and not get anything done. I urge a no vote.
Madam Chair.
Griffith.
Though I agree that this referral and this executive committee would be the perfect place to send this motion, because our officers, which make up our executive committee, would be the ones filling out this application. They are incredibly busy with our various activities we're doing for the rest of this year, and given the fact that most of them will be replaced after our end of the year banquet and the election of new officers, it makes me nervous as to the future of this motion. Therefore, I urge a strong no vote.
Call
Madam
my
Chair.
inquiry, Madam Chair.
State your inquiry.
What is the vote required on this motion?
A majority vote is required to pass the referral.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Kayla.
The only reason I can't stand behind this motion is I'm a member of the executive committee, and although I think it would be great for us to be able to really look at this and see all the different ins and outs of the grant, we really don't have the time. We're working really hard this year on making the end of the year banquet a big deal and really support those seniors that have been in here. And we have so many different things to do, including making a video presentation, different slideshows, and numerous awards that we're giving out that we need to decide who deserves them. We just simply don't have the time to look into this motion, so I have to urge a no vote.
Madam Chair.
Travis.
I'm sure the executive committee would love to take this motion into consideration. It just seems to me that they don't have the time. They're going to be quite obvious, as has been stated with new officer elections, as well as post-state conference talks and talks about state finals down in California Polytechnics. They've got a lot to talk about, and while they think they would love to talk about this, they make a very harsh decision to get back to us with no real progress. Vote no.
Madam Chair.
Rachel.
Due to lack of support, I request permission to withdraw my motion.
Second.
If there are no objections, the motion is withdrawn. Debate is now on the main motion.
Madam Chair.
Griffith.
I again wish to reiterate just how beneficial this motion could be for our chapter. The Food for All grant, it's all about service learning and active learning to help people and our chapters go out into the community and teach the elementary school, middle school children about the science of agriculture and agricultural business. This is a great thing for our chapter to do to promote not only itself to our community, but to our country and our world by giving our small part to the FFA and the organization. I urge a strong yes vote.
Madam Chair.
Kayla.
To gather more information, I move to take a 5-minute recess.
Second.
It is moved and seconded that we recess for 5 minutes. Those in favor of taking a 5-minute recess, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say no.
No.
The noes have it. The motion is lost. We will not take a 5-minute recess. Debate is on the main motion.
Madam Chair.
Rachel.
I truly feel that this motion will help our chapter excel. The Food for All grant helps our chapter get the funds that we need to programs that we have implemented in the past and that are struggling to continue on. We really need to keep these programs in place for not only our chapter but our community, so please vote yes.
Madam Chair.
Travis.
It's quite obvious to our entire membership that our community has been struggling lately. And we've tried to implement a lot of grants out into the public as is. We simply haven't been able to do it. Whether it be lack of resources or lack of funds, we've been trying for a long time, and applying for a Food for All grant would be the perfect way to get the money that we would need in order to help our community. It's not about just our service learning, while there's a great factor in it. It's about helping our community because they've put so much in to help us that they've almost put in more into us than they have to themselves. We need to help them back, and I must urge a yes vote.
Madam Chair.
Garrett.
I like this motion. This is giving us the opportunity to branch out and maybe try something new that we haven't been able to do because of the lack of funding that we have. I think by getting this grant, we will get out and be able to reach out to our younger community and maybe some of the older generations as well. I really enjoy this motion. I urge a yes vote.
Madam Chair.
Kayla.
I've had a change of heart on this motion. Although originally against it because I felt that the application process may be too lengthy for our chapter, I put a lot of consideration into it and realized that the Food for All grant will offer our chapter $2,500 if we accept it. And it's going to go towards teaching younger generations different things that they can learn in agriculture, teach them about the different sciences of agriculture, and I think it'll increase our membership with learning with younger children. I think that we could talk to the middle school about this, implement this grant into so many different activities. We've talked about starting a community garden for months now, but we haven't had the funding to do it or really the participation. I think that by getting this grant, it will not only show our community members that we're involved in the FFA and our community, but we're interested in making our community a better place to live. I think that this will help our chapter, and I think that it will encourage our members to maybe apply for more things in the future. So I have to ask the Assembly for an affirmative vote.
Debate. Are you ready for the question? The question is on the adoption of the motion that our chapter apply for a national FFA Food for All grant. Those in favor of adopting this motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The ayes have chapter will apply for a national FFA Food for All grant. Is there any further business? Special announcement.